we don't always have the ability to go to a yoga class or go somewhere. But from your experience, this is something that you were able to kind of pick up on your own.
Correct. Yes. And it's something you can do at home. Yoga, the movements throughout yoga are mainly weight bearing, just using your own weight. You don't need weights. You don't need really anything but just
a gym
yourself.
Or a facility.
No, just yourself and a towel if you don't have a yoga mat or a blanket. Anything that feels good on your skin when you're lying down. And again, that's all you need, just yourself and the willingness to try something
new.
Something new, something that has been researched heavily. And it's something that has helped me tremendously recover from all of the horrible side effects of chemotherapy. And just my mental health alone has increased tremendously.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us for part 4, our last installment in Living Life to the Fullest. We have been talking about all of the research that shows what you can do, changes that you can make to live a full and quality life, not just years, but enjoying those years and your independence. And I'm so excited. Our guest here today is Christine Newberry, and Christine is going to provide us some perspective based on the research we talked about in our previous episode. You know, it's not just physical activity. That is a part of it, but there are so many other things, aren't there, that can help us when it comes to reducing stress, and perspective is something that you and I have talked about a lot as well.
Yes, you're right. There are a lot of different things, and knowing that you are in charge of your own wellness program, creating your own wellness activities is the key. I really do believe that.
When you say wellness, though, you're not just meaning sports. Tell us a little bit about the program that you started and what you do now, because I know you work with all types of people all around town, but your personal mission is to help people facing chronic or even possibly terminal illnesses in some cases, right?
Yes. I created a nonprofit called Serenity Yoga Cancer Support, and it is a love project of mine, something I take very personal and put a lot of time and effort in. I am a cancer survivor myself, and I fully understand the needs and the desires of both, mainly women, obviously, because I'm a woman, but of everyone that is going through this disease. And I am a survivor now. It's going on 4 years. And earlier this year, I received my certification in yoga. I'm now a certified yoga instructor. And throughout that certification process, I was trying to figure out what can I do to help those that went through what I did. And just a lot of time with meditation and just contemplation and a lot of alone time, which is part of also your wellness program.
Which is hard to come by. Yes. I mean, because not everyone knows, you know, you are a busy mom. I mean, you've got one in high school,
yes,
middle
I have
school.
one, a sophomore in college now.
You do not. Okay, so college and high school
and in 8th grade
and middle school.
Yes.
And so when we're talking 4 years ago, I mean, they were all in the busiest times of life with activities and all of the things.
Yes.
And no doubt, like all of us as moms, you are putting those kids number one.
Of course.
And everything comes to a screeching halt.
Yes, it did.
When you realized that you were sick.
Yes. It pretty much just, I felt like time stopped.
Yeah.
Like I thought to myself, what am I going to do now? How am I going to tell the kids? My husband and I found out at the same time, and that was very difficult. But I think that the most difficult aspect of it was my age. I was so young, and my children were still young, and I thought to myself, wow, like, is this really how it's going to end at this age in this way? But yes, it definitely was a time that I will never forget. It was also during the beginning of the COVID pandemic. So that really just added a whole other level of stress.
Isolation, too. I mean, not being able to have your community around you.
No, it was very, very it felt very lonely and very sad. And throughout that time, I tried very hard to implement different wellness activities into my daily everything. And yoga really, really helped me. It helped my mind, helped my body. It helped ease the anxiety and the fear I was dealing with at the time, and still do. We all deal with anxiety and fear of different things. But at that time, it was just, oh gosh, I have cancer.
Very heightened.
Very, very heightened. We're in the middle of COVID. What do I do? What can I do that does not require me to be around a lot of people? Mm-hmm. Something I can do alone at home. And yoga was just kind of like my savior at that point.
What's interesting is if you've never done yoga, mm-hmm. and I would be a person in that group for most of my life, or maybe you've popped into a community center here or there and you just think, this is too slow for me. Mm-hmm. It's actually slow by design, isn't it? I mean, yes. It's actually a discipline more than it is, let's say, a workout.
Correct. Yes, it is definitely something that you can practice to help yourself slow down, essentially. Slow down the body, the mind, and just kind of tune in with yourself. And when you do that, you become something that you didn't know was there. You bring out something in you that just, I don't know how to explain it, more compassion for others, for yourself. Yes. Mm-hmm. More patience. And you tend to realize that most of the things we worry about on the daily basis really don't matter. They just don't.
Well, I want to kind of get to the meat of this topic, right? You are a story that we can see, okay, great, well, it helped her. Mm-hmm. But there has been a huge body of research done on this. And what has been the most striking to me has been the Mayo Clinic.
Yes.
And again, there are volumes of research, but the Mayo Clinic has started using people on staff, mm-hmm. same as they have all these other medical positions. They have therapists mm-hmm. who teach yoga.
Yes.
Because of the findings and what they are now seeing. So they have these therapists employed in chronic pain clinics. They have them when they have patients with certain diseases. And I pulled up a little bit of their research here that I was looking at. And just what they were saying, they said that yoga is known to help with chronic health conditions, specifically diabetes, heart disease, chronic pain, and that is why they use it in their clinics mm-hmm. because they're seeing results. And the other thing that's interesting when we look at cancer, like what you were talking about, mm-hmm. You as a person practicing it may not know all of this research.
Right.
You just know that you feel a little bit better or a lot better depending on the day. What their research is showing is that it can manage chronic conditions. It reduces, in some cases, eliminates symptoms because of these diseases and increases overall health.
Yes.
That's not just a claim. I mean, this is the Mayo Clinic. They've done the research.
Correct.
And they've put it into practice.
Yes.
And so when you read that, I think that would be surprising to some people.
Yes.
Well, why? I thought medication was supposed to fix this, but maybe that's just a piece of the puzzle for some of these clinics, is what they're saying. Mm-hmm. Yes to all of the modern medicine, but is there another piece here that we can offer to our patients that is also showing some results? That's pretty incredible.
Yes, it is. And I'm so glad you brought that up because the research is plentiful. Just over the last 20 years or so, there are so many different articles that speak to this, that speak to not just for what we're talking about here, really on cancer patients, or at least what my current passion is, but just for everyone's wellness in general, especially for us that are aging gracefully.
Well, technically we're all aging.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, after you have kids and you're in that season of life, your body starts to change.
Yes.
And I am a person who resisted the slow pace of yoga for a really long time. And I think for some unknown reason, there's a stigma with, well, thousands of years ago, yoga was associated with a religious practice. So much of that, if not entirely, has completely changed from the practice that we see today. There is breathing involved. Which is a part of that stress issue that our previous guest was talking about, how stress can contribute to chronic health conditions and even lead to them, which is shocking to say out loud because most of us, stress is just part of our daily lives. But that this is one of those activities that can counterbalance that or eliminate that stress. So what I was saying is I used to be opposed to the idea of slowing down. But then you said aging gracefully. As we age, we realize that if we don't slow ourselves down, something else will stop us.
Correct.
Whether that be an illness or an injury or a disease or stress, fill in the blank. For me, I had chronic aches and pains from years of sports and different types of movements that weren't great for me. And it was a last resort for me doing yoga. And the change was incredible. And I find that if I keep that discipline and that movement, that it does eliminate the pain if I can keep doing it. Now, all of this is in an ideal world, right? We don't always have the ability to go to a yoga class or go somewhere. But from your experience, this is something that you were able to kind of pick up on your own.
Correct. Yes. And it's something you can do at home. Yoga, the movements throughout yoga are mainly weight bearing, just using your own weight. You don't need weights. You don't need really anything but just
a gym
yourself.
Or a facility.
No, just yourself and a towel if you don't have a yoga mat or a blanket. Anything that feels good on your skin when you're lying down. And again, that's all you need, just yourself and the willingness to try something new.
Try something new.
Something that has been researched heavily, and it's something that has helped me tremendously recover from all of the horrible side effects of chemotherapy, and just my mental health alone has increased tremendously. The fear of going back, I still go and do routine care, routine follow-ups and lab works, and initially that was terrifying for me. But with yoga and the whole practice of it, which there's the movements, there's the breathing, there's the meditation, and other mindful activities have really helped me just combat that feeling of just, oh gosh, I have to go and do lab work in 3 days, or gosh, or my scan's going to show a reoccurrence. I don't feel that way anymore. I really don't. I spend time, I contemplate, I move, I breathe, and I feel better for it and because of it.
So tell us about your new organization that you started.
Yes.
Are you seeing that there is a need there and you have patients coming in?
Yes.
And what are those experiences like?
They've been full of all sorts of emotions. When someone is going through cancer, it's probably one of the scariest things someone can tell you. Those 3 words, you have cancer.
I have cancer.
And it's very terrifying. And my aim is to create a space, a safe space, one that where when people come in, they feel like they are being understood and heard, and they feel safe to just be themselves. We practice yoga, we practice meditation and breathing work, but sometimes some of my clients come in and they just want to talk, or they just want to cry, or they just want to scream and shout. And all of those things are okay, and all of those things are things that just the normal human being should be able to do. And I have created a space where they can come and do those things and not have fear of being judged or not understood or looked at in a certain way. Like, why can't you just handle this, with medicine and move on? Well, there's so many after effects and side effects to both your physical health and your mental health that doctors don't really give you a prescription for once you're done with treatment. They're like, okay, now, another 5 years you'll be considered cured, or however it is, or if you're terminal and you have this lifelong disease, they don't really give you a prescription for that and how to handle that. So I found through wellness activities like yoga that these side effects that I was feeling and still currently feel and deal with have been tremendously lowered because of the effects of yoga and just all of the mindfulness activities that come along with it.
What do you think is that block from people trying something like that? Is it counterculture in a way?
It can
the practice?
be for some people, depending on what they believe in, whether it be their religious practices or culture, or just them saying, that's not for me. I don't have the body type for that. Or
none of us do.
I'm not flexible enough.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I can't even hinge forward and touch my toes. There's no way. But at the end of the day, I think it's just not a lot of people understand what it encompasses and ultimately what it does for the body. And I think with just more research and more projects like what I started are going to just help people fully understand what it does and what it can do.
It's one of those things that the research is there, but it can't be fully understood from the outside. It's one of those things you have to do. Music therapy is another one of those things.
Yes.
There's several things here that the more advanced clinics around the country are incorporating because of what they've seen with chronic pain, what they've seen with illnesses. But as far as day-to-day life, Christine, okay, well, I'm trucking along fine and I don't have any of those things, what do you think are the benefits of slowing down when it comes to, someone like yourself or me or just anybody? I mean, we all live in the same fast-paced, doing a million things, going a million places, right?
Yes, you're absolutely right. Especially when we have other people that depend on us, like children and businesses and friendships that are really close. And yoga for me has really helped me handle anxiety and stress, not just when it comes to cancer, but just in general in everyday life. It has allowed me to understand what it feels like to slow down and know that it's okay to slow down your mind, your body, and know that that's really when the magic happens, when your body is able to just rest. One of my favorite poses in yoga is it's called Shavasana, and I like to start in this pose and end in this pose. And essentially, you're laying down flat on the mat. You're just kind of taking up as much space as you'd like, closing your eyes if that's comfortable for you, and just slowing down the mind, the body, and realizing that, wow, this feels so nice. And it's okay.
I don't have to do anything right at this exact moment.
No, you're allowing the blood to flow. And
by the way, you don't have your phone.
No, you're not. And it's an amazing feeling. Just the blood is flowing to where it's most needed. And you're just there. And there's no expectations. There's nothing else to do but just be there with yourself. And I love that pose.
And you teach community classes also, don't you?
I do. I teach at the Wellness Collective. I teach at Precision. And I also teach at Missouri State for the professors and the students.
Well, I think it's amazing what you've done. First of all, we are so grateful that you are here.
Thank you.
And that God healed you.
Yes, thank you.
And the fact that you are using that time of your life to help others is incredible.
Thank you.
And so as your friend, I am very proud of you.
Thank you.
And you're also an amazing yoga teacher too.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
I haven't been to your classes, but I did attend the little event you had at your house.
Yes.
You did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Everyone who's listening to it's like, oh, this is so soothing. Listening to Christine. I don't even have to go to yoga. I just have to listen to Christine's podcast.
Oh, thank you.
But we've loved having you here. Is there anything else that I haven't hit on that is on your mind that you'd like to share?
Well, I'd say that the nonprofit that I started, it's not just for active cancer patients and survivors, but it's also for their caretakers. I think sometimes we forget about that.
Yes,
the
we
people that are really the backbone that help. And they're also experiencing a lot of the stresses and anxieties and fear that the patient
caretaker, okay, so my mom's a survivor, right? So when my mom had cancer, I'm like, who do I talk to?
Yes.
So sometimes the caretaker is so close to the person who's fighting the illness that they don't have an outlet anymore. Is that what you see?
Yes. And in all of my classes, I always encourage their caretakers to come with them.
I love that.
And they can sit, they can participate, whatever they like to do. They can watch via Zoom, whatever's comfortable for them. And sometimes their caretaker's a little furry friend, a dog or a cat. I've had those brought to the studio too, and that's okay too. But I think sometimes we forget about those that help.
Yes.
And I think that just what I'm doing is something that I hope that a lot of people will realize, that there's not just the patient, but the caretaker needs.
And it has to be a good feeling to know that the research supporting you shows that you are taking steps to help keep that illness at bay.
Yes, and manage those horrible side effects from fatigue to just brain fog that happens to me till this day. Sometimes I'll be talking to someone and I'll completely forget what I was talking about. But I've learned that on the mornings that I practiced, and
the focus that it gives you.
Yes, I feel so good throughout the day, and my mind is just clearer. And
well, I feel better having had you here in the podcast studio.
Thank you. It's a lovely
It's been an honor to host you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us for this 4-part series of Living Life to the Fullest. We hope that you've gained some valuable insights from it and that you feel like you can go out and try something new yourself. So where do you find us? If you are on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe so you know when all the new episodes drop. You can also follow Around the Ozarks on social media. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, of course, Facebook. We have a community there as well. And you can head to AroundTheOzarks.com and sign up for our daily newsletter so you don't miss a thing. We'll see you next time.